What's up? What's going on, guys? Captain Monk here again. This is my 5th episode in my series called Road to Gold. In this series, I take every primary weapon from the SPAS 12, from the L86, from all the guns in the game. I use them from level 1 to level 31 until I get the gold camo, and then towards the end of this video, there will be a gameplay with the new gold camo. But from here to the gameplay, there's going to be weapon clips with all different attachments for this weapon, displaying where the USAS 12 is powerful and where it's not. As you can see there, it's clearly not very powerful at long range, so do not use this weapon at long range because you will not have very much fun with this game if you attempt to do that. Now, before I get started with the gameplay, guys, because the gameplay does come up pretty quickly here because there's not many weapon clips, because there's not very many attachments for this weapon. I just want to quickly talk about the weapon stats for this weapon. So, what you guys should know about this weapon, for starters, is that the USAS 12 is unlocked at level 4. It is a semi-automatic. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually not a semi-automatic shotgun, guys. I don't know why, but this chart I'm looking at right now, it says semi-auto. It is not a semi-automatic weapon. Test it out for yourself. It is a full auto shotgun with 6 rounds in a clip. I do not know why. Its damage is 25 close and 5 long. And now most people will look at this and go, wow, that's really low for a shotgun. I thought the shotguns would be really powerful. I mean, for example, the ACRs got more damage than that. But here's how it basically works with the shotguns. The USAS 12, for every shot you shoot, it shoots 6 bullets. And it only requires 4 of those 6 shots at close range to kill the guy. So, that's pretty good, I must say. I do not know what the damage proficiency increases on this weapon. This is without any proficiencies whatsoever. So, I'm sorry guys, I wish I had a chart basically displaying the difference between damage and no damage, but I do not at this point. But hopefully I will be able to review this weapon when that information is released. But that's basically how it works. And at long range, the weapon's going to do basically no damage, so there's no reason to even try it at long range. So, just ignore the 5 damage at long range, doesn't mean anything. But for every shot you shoot, this USAS 12 shoots 6 pellets. The KSG shoots 8. The AA12 shoots 6. The SPAS 12 shoots 8. The Striker shoots 6. And the Model 8087 shoots 8. Now, there's a stat here that you guys should probably look at that I think is pretty interesting. Right here as the gameplay starts. But I'm going to talk about the gameplay in a bit here, but I also want to finish up with the weapon stats, guys. The USAS 12, it shoots 139 rounds per minute. And that is the second lowest after the SPAS 12. The SPAS 12 is at 127. Now, most people will look at this and just go, wow, that's really low. This gun must shoot really slowly. But the thing they have to take into consideration is that it shoots 6 pellets at a time, right? Whereas the other guns, like the KSG, shoot 8. So you guys can see the KSG may be slower, but, like it may shoot slower, but it shoots more at a time. Whereas the SPAS 12, guys, it shoots more, but it still shoots slower. So, that's something you should take into consideration, guys. The SPAS 12 is probably one of the worst shotguns in this game because it shoots so slow and shoots so little at a time. But yeah, that's this little interesting stat I thought you guys would be interested in. Now, that's pretty much all from the weapon stats. Now, here's what we need to look at is basically how I recommend you use this gun. Now, you can see in this gameplay, guys, my class setup was extreme conditioning, blast shield, and I believe steady aim. Now, the reason for extreme conditioning is because there's a little bit of a glitch on this weapon that I don't know if it's with attachments, without attachments, regardless. But I do know that with this weapon, if you just don't use extreme conditioning, your sprint is multiplied by 1.5. That basically means that if you take this weapon and another shotgun, and you basically, like, let's say you and your friend, one guy had the Striker, the other guy had the USAS, and they both sprinted, and then once they ran out of sprint and started walking, they stopped. Sorry guys, I really apologize for coughing there. I may have to cut that out. But basically, if you take one of your friends who had a Striker and you with the USAS, and you both sprinted without extreme conditioning until you stopped sprinting, the USAS guy would go a half, like 1.5 times as far. If that makes sense, like another half. Add on another half to how far the Striker guy went. So the gun has basically built-in extreme conditioning. So when you put extreme conditioning onto this weapon, it doubles that. So you have 3 times as much sprint. That's insane. I highly recommend you guys use extreme conditioning on this weapon. It's very, very great. You would be very surprised and happy with yourself if you use extreme conditioning on this weapon. It's not like with most shotguns where you get double. No, you get triple the sprint with this weapon. It is outstanding. So definitely use that, guys. Definitely use that to your best benefit. The second perk I was using was Blast Shield. Now, with this shotgun, there aren't really many choices to look at. You got, what, Quick Draw, Hardline, I mean, quick draw is not really helpful on shotgun because you're going to be hip firing, but I'll get around to that afterwards. So quick draw is not a good choice. Assassins for pussies, I don't need to address that. If you're going to use Assassin, I recommend you stop playing this game because Assassin, I mean, I understand there's some guys on YouTube basically saying that, oh, because of support, people are calling it UAVs all the time, it's the only way to hide from it. But you know what? In Call of Duty 4, World at War, not so much Modern Warfare 2, maybe somewhat Black Ops, I did not use those perks that allowed you to hide from radars. There was no point. You didn't need them, especially in Call of Duty 4 and World at War, guys. There was constant UAVs in those games. No one complained about them then. Why are you complaining about them now? Man up. Use perks for men. Stop using Assassin, but I'm not going to address that. So the reason I'm using Blast Shield is because I believe it's the most effective perk, because I'm not using any perks that will allow me to hide from stuff like Claymores or bouncing Bettys and stuff like that, because I want to use steady aim, so I'm not using sit rep. So Blast Shield comes in handy when you're trying to flank and rush people so that you can get into buildings without having to worry about that stuff. But that is something that I definitely need to address, is Blast Shield is definitely underpowered. It needs to be buffed to basically duplicate what Tactical Mask Pro does from Black Ops and what Flak Jacket did in Black Ops, because at this point Blast Shield is basically useless as far as grenade resistance goes, and as far as tacticals like such as stun grenades and flashbangs go, it doesn't do anything. It honestly doesn't, guys. So I highly recommend you do not use this perk, but I was using this in this game because I didn't really know what else to use, because using any most second tier perks for the shotguns are just not very good. But now we can go to steady aim. Now basically, here's a little pro tip for you guys. I'm really sorry, guys. I got a cold and I just had a soccer game, so my throat's a little sore. But steady aim. So the reason I'm using steady aim was because basically what happens is with a shotgun, if you aim down sight or hip fire, the accuracy of the shotgun is equal. But when you put steady aim onto it, the spread is smaller. So that's why you never see me aim down sight with this weapon when I have steady aim on. It's very, very effective. The only time I can honestly recommend aiming down sight with the shotgun is if you're running Stalker, because with Stalker, you can aim down the sight and be a bit more precise, and hip firing won't be nearly as effective. So you can use Stalker and move around and be more evasive, because with the shotguns, for some reason, when you aim down sight, you cannot move very fast in this game. So put Stalker on this gun and put like a red dot or something like that if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to aim down the sight because you're just not very good at hip firing, that's how I recommend. But the attachment I was using for this weapon was the extended mags. Now, there's a little tip that you guys should definitely know about for this game, is that the extended mags basically acts like stopping power. Now, for most of you, you're probably like, what's stopping power? But there's a few of you that actually know what stopping power is. What stopping power did in Call of Duty 4 and World at War and Modern Warfare 2 is it multiplied your bullet damage by 1.4. Basically, in other words, making it so it required one last bullet to kill a guy. But with extended mags in this game, what it basically does is it multiplies your ammo capacity. So, for example, right now I have six bullets in my gun, but I have extended mags on, so I have 9. So because it takes half of 6 and it adds it on, so that's 9 there. And but that also does is it takes, for example, we already talked about how the USAS 12 shoots 6 bullets per shot, right? Or shoots 6 shells per shot, right? Well, with the extended mags attachment, that doubles as well, or not doubles, but times 1.5. So take half of that, guys. That becomes 3, and then 3 plus 6 is 9. So it shoots 9 bullets per shot. That's great. So definitely use the extended mags, guys. It has 2 benefits: more bullets to shoot, and I mean that in both ways. More bullets per shot and more bullets in a clip. So it's just awesome. So definitely use the extended mags, guys. It's definitely what I recommend. If you don't have the extended mags unlocked, I'd recommend the grip. It's probably the second best thing. There's not really many good attachments until you unlock the extended mags. As far as proficiencies goes, guys, I was using the damage because on this weapon, it almost needs to be treated like a pump action, because in this game, there's a lot of debates basically going around saying which should you use, range or damage. In my opinion, range should be used on the AA-12 and the striker, but for all the other shotguns, I recommend using damage, because the other shotguns, you need that one-shot kill. If you do not get that one-shot kill, you're dead. That's basically how it works. With the USAS, it's a bit more forgiving, but for example, with the SPAS 12, if you don't get that one shot, you have a 50-50 chance of dying or living. Same thing with the KSG, the model, So having that extra damage is very important with the pump action, lever action, slow firing shotguns. But with the faster firing AA-12 or Striker, going with range is probably the better way to go. But anyways, guys, that is my 5th episode of Road to Gold. This episode, we looked at the USAS 12. I hope you guys learned something today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave some feedback in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.